I haven't met many swanherds in my life. This badge tells me that you, John Fair, are a swanherd and you're also a fleet warden. What does that mean?
Well, the Fleet is the 8-mile nature reserve. It's brackish water and the longest lagoon in the British Isles, and there's masses of natural plant food which is ideal for swans. And this is why there have always been swans here. We know for 600 years, possibly 800 years, possibly 1,000 years.
Now, Abbotsbury is the most famous swanery in the world, I suppose.
Well, it's pretty well known, yes. We get a lot of visitors and it survives by people coming to see it. The good public that come to see us pay for running one of Britain's most important nature reserves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many swans in one place. I suppose this is probably the biggest collection. Once a year, is it, or once every 2 years? I can't remember. Every so often you have to count them?
Well, we round them all up every 2 years. I don't like to disturb them
No.
too much. We round them up for ringing, the ones who haven't got rings, for checking their health, making sure rings aren't broken, and of course it's a mecca for all the scientists in Britain. They all come here. So we had people from the Wildfowl Trust and the Edward Gray Institute of Ornithology at Oxford, and people that do work on swans. They all come to help us do it. It's a great day.
Yeah. And what's the score?
836 were rounded up the Saturday before last. 50 got away that could fly, because we can only do it when they're flightless, you know, when they're molting. And let me see, 40 were left on the site with their young, because we didn't want to round those up in case they got squashed. So with 121 cygnets as well, it's just over 1,000 swans on the fleet at the moment. There aren't 1,000 swans here. There's about 600 here.
But don't you get a lot of fighting and squabbling between them?
Yes, a lot in the spring, in sort of February, March. They fight like blazes to maintain their territory. And they've got to keep pushing. The males have got to, the cobs have got to keep fighting to keep it going. Otherwise they lose it, another one takes it over. But what we do to help them, when they've nested, you see, as you come down the stream, you see that there's some sort of little fences.
Yeah.
When they fight in February and March, and the males maintain a territory, we watch them closely and drop a little fence in, and that helps them to demarcate a territory which they've already sorted out. And it stops the little ones getting mixed up. And this has helped tremendously, and we've been doing it now for 4 years, and it means that more of the young survive. And we need roughly 100 cygnets to maintain the number of the herd at roughly what it is, because roughly 100 will die during the course of the year.
Did I hear you call them a herd?
Yeah, it's a herd.
Is that the correct term?
Yes, it's a herd. That's why I'm called a swan herd. A herd on the land, a flight in the air, and it's called a fleet in the water here. And a long time ago, it was called a game of swans, because of course they were used for meat. Feathers were used for calligraphy, still do. Lloyd still have our feathers for writing in the Doom Book every time a ship goes down.
I saw that book the other day.
Yes, they write it with our quills. Yeah. The Queen's Bodyguard.
I saw them doing it the other day, yes.
David Burling.
One of your quills I saw in action.
Yes, that's right, David Burling,
yes. Yeah. Do you ever get attacked by these swans when you're working
We
with them?
do, the staff do, but the public don't.
Yeah.
Touch wood.
And how do they attack you when they do?
They thump you with their wings. When we go around the nest, they're not too bad, because colonial nesters are not as aggressive as territorial nesters. Yeah. I mean, if you're very, very aggressive, you can't nest here. You just couldn't do it.
Sure.
So whether they belong to the Queen, the yellow ring ones, or ours, the white ring ones, they all behave the same way.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I was just going to say who owns them. Now, you mentioned the ones with the yellow rings are royal swans, are they?
Yeah, well, all swans in Britain on open water belong to the Queen of England. Right. Except here and some on the Thames and 1 or 2 private owners, like St John's College, Cambridge, and Worcester College, Oxford.
Now, why are you an exception? The ones with the white rings here, those belong to...
The Honourable Mrs Morrison.
Here, locally. That goes right back to...
And her family bought it from Henry VIII in 1534.
A lot of history here.
Yes, yes there is. Yeah.
You enjoy the work?
Yes, very much. Yes,
it's a unique place,
yes,
John.
It is. It's a unique job too.
Yeah.
Because there's only one managed herd, you see. There's nobody else manages a herd of swans.
In fact, there's only one of you in the world.
Well, I say so. There are other people call themselves swan herds, but there's only one genuine herd, similar to what there was in the Middle Ages, of swans. So we say we're the only swan herds.
So, John, the public come here. Which months of the year can they visit?
We're open from beginning of April, April 1st, which is the day we usually get our first egg, funnily enough, and we close again at the end of October. Well, then we're open during weekends for people that want to see the waterfowl, because we get 20,000 waterfowl here in the winter.
Oh, it's a wonderful spot,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
thank you for letting us come here. And I'm just going to go on wander around now and see if I can count those swans to see how many was it again.
836.
I'll just check up and see if you're right. 1, 2, 3,
Three,
4, 5. No, I give up. I give
Yeah,
up.
all out west.
It is an enormous collection. Thank you, John.
Right, pleasure. Yeah.
Oh, Brenda, that's Brenda Lowe. We've got a bit of a handful on our hands here, haven't we? Well, they've got a lot going for them, haven't they? Mentally, physically.
Oh yes, they make wonderful family pets. I mean, they're kindly, they're confident. They just love people. They want to be with you the whole time. They are just, you know, sort of wonderful dogs to have around.
Yeah. You breed the dogs, and when you give them, you make sure they get a good home. What are the sort of comments that people, when they come back and say, "Oh, the dog's settling"? What do they say to you?
Well, very often they come and they've bought a dog, as they think, just a dog, and they come back and they say, "Oh, it's just one of the family."
Yeah.
Mind you, they have to learn to be tidy because they're great carriers, retrievers, so they appear with your socks or your shoes and various items of underwear we've had happen. you know.
Really?
So, you know, that you've got to learn to be a bit
Yeah.
tidy unless you want everything carried
Yeah.
around the house.
But in fairness, you know, they are retrievers, aren't they, as you
That's
say?
their instinct.
Now, I would really like you very much to explain the word golden, because they're all different colours, and I'm in a terrible confusion. And people write in and said, "You've said yellow Labrador instead of golden Labrador instead of, you know." Come on, put me right. I mean, is there what is the right colour for a golden retriever?
The standard says any shade of cream or gold,
Right.
neither red or mahogany. So in fact, you have the blonde, well,
Right,
the
the white
lighter.
blonde.
Well, no, don't use the word white.
Oh, sorry.
Cream.
Right.
You have a cream golden retriever. Tansy, you're cream. Come on, Tansy.
Front, not
she's,
back.
She's cream.
Right.
Wilf is mid gold,
Right.
and then there is a darker gold,
Right.
a really deep darker gold.
Yes.
But
Have you got one of those?
yes,
Called?
yes, Kaida.
Kaito, right.
Yes. So you have the lighter colour, the mid gold, and then the very dark.
Right. So just take me through it. That is cream.
This is cream,
That's cream.
mid gold.
That's mid gold, and this is just a puppy.
Well, she's just a puppy, which will probably be a light gold.
Right. But do they stay the same colour, or do they change
No,
like
they
horses?
go the colour of their ears. A puppy at 6 weeks, if you look at the colour of the ears, if he was blonde but with that colour ear, he will be that colour when he's really grown up at about 4 years.
Right. Do they always have black noses? You can't have brown noses, or?
The standard again says nose preferably black,
Yeah.
but I think I'm very much of an opinion that a black nose is what they should have.
Oh, I think they're
and
stunning.
the dark brown eyes and the
Yes, I mean
pigment
Cleopatra,
browny eyes,
isn't it?
Yes, and the very gentle expression.
Yeah. And the dog that gets the best in the gun dog breed, the dog that's got that sort of star quality. How would you summarise that?
Quality is very difficult to define.
Yeah.
And this is when you're judging. You need to know what quality is. But in the gun dog group, they've got to be striding round the ring with their tail held correctly and have that presence.
Right. I think we should do what we should have done right at the beginning, introduce the dogs to everybody. Should we go left to right?
Tansy?
And how old is Tansy?
Tansy's 3.
Tansy 3, right.
She's the mother of Wilf.
Oh, right. And how old's
Yes.
Wolf?
Wilf is 6 months.
You're lovely, Wolf. And Laura, who's going to have a
Laura,
little sleep.
she's about 16 weeks.
And they're not just pretty faces, are they, really, golden retrievers?
Oh no, they're much more than pretty faces. They act as guide dogs, and they're a wonderful working dog, a very good game finder. They are pack dogs. They are hearing dogs for the disabled. They're dogs for the disabled, carrying things, retrieving things. And it's because of their willingness to please, eagerness to please, and they love to do all these things for people. I think this is why they make such a good
Yeah.
pack dog or whatever.
Well, hopefully, Brenda, with breeders and judges like you keeping an eye on the breed, they'll stay as sweet as they most definitely are. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Scattered all over the British Isles are some rather special people. Well, we think they're special anyway. They're people who devote their lives to caring for animals. Now, Sarah and I are touring around the countryside, trying to find a winner for the Anglia Meridian Animal Country Award. That's a rather special award. It's £3,000 and a beautiful trophy. And it goes to the person who, in the opinion of the judges, has done most for animals in some way. It might be an animal sanctuary, an animal hospital, a rescue operation, a conservation organisation, something like that. And the winner will be announced in the last programme in the series. Luckily, I don't have to judge it. The judges will have to cope with that, because frankly, everybody I meet seems to deserve the award, and I just couldn't decide between them.
Now, if you can cast your mind back, I know it was series one of my favourite interviews of all. Headmaster, his name was David Stapleford, and he had something at the bottom of his garden I had never seen before. And I remember going there and saying to Desmond, I'm so excited, I'm so excited. And so were you. When the interview went out on the television, everyone said, why can't we ever see them? Well, Am and John Todd Rayner, they work with David, and there's news of the red squirrel. But first of all, let me put viewers, well, their point. Why do we never see red squirrels?
Well, I think because mostly they're really high up in the trees. We see more greys because they feed on the ground.
So you've got grey squirrels and you've got red squirrels. Okay. Is it, I mean, this is probably an impossible question because they move so quickly, don't they? Suddenly, whomp, wallop. Do you have any idea, Anne, how many there are red squirrels in this country?
I think there are still quite a lot in Scotland and on the islands around where the greys aren't.
What, you mean like the Shetlands and Orkneys, or you mean the
Isle
Isle of Wight?
Right.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Bronsey Island. And there are still a few in Thetford, which is
near
what
us,
we're
the big forest.
working with, yes.
Why have they become so rare? I mean, then are they endangered, or am I just making that
They're
up?
certainly endangered round here, aren't they?
Yes.
They're, 20 years ago, they were plentiful. We even had one in the garden.
So what went wrong?
The greys came in, and wherever the greys come in, the reds go out, unfortunately.
The greys are bigger, aren't they?
Yes, and they're very pushy characters.
I think one of the most important things is that the greys live in a greater concentration per acre or hectare, and they take all the available food.
Don't
They're
they
very-
eat different food from the
Not
reds?
really, because the red squirrels in this area have had to adapt themselves to mixed deciduous forests, whereas they normally lived in pine forests. But because they had adapted themselves in Norfolk, they were at a disadvantage when a squirrel came in whose natural habitat was mixed deciduous forest, and that, of course, is where the greys have scored.
This takes us on to the Forestry Commission, doesn't it? And,
Yes.
and the scheme that you're doing. Perhaps you'd set that up for us, Anne, and tell us what you're doing with your squirrels in the bottom of your garden.
Right, we're breeding. The Red Squirrel Trust was set up to protect any existing red squirrels and to breed them for future release programmes. And English Nature has asked us to supply red squirrels for a project that they're doing in Thetford.
To send them back. The squirrels that
Yes.
we're seeing now will go back into
Yes.
their native. Right, now, John, picking you up on your point, you say that they eat pine cone seeds. So why should the Forestry Commission want a red squirrel in their back garden?
Well, I think they're very keen to have the natural English species in the forest. It belongs there, it's always been there. There are still a few wild ones there. They want to augment those numbers, and they want to ensure that if there's one part of Norfolk where the reds can survive in comfort, that they provide it, and I think that's a very worthwhile cause. And I think it's very worthwhile us supporting them in that area, because it's very, very difficult. The greys come in so quickly, but the Forestry Commission have the ability to control the greys, and they have a section of forest which we hope doesn't have very many greys. I mean, if you go into a woodland, you can see greys. You're sure of seeing some greys. But in, shall we say, 20 years ago, if you went into the woodlands near here, it would be unusual to see a red squirrel even though they were there, unless you knew where to look. And you suddenly see a head sort of poking round the side of a tree, and that's your sight of a red squirrel, unless you happen to see him dashing along a branch or something of the sort. So they're much more cautious about a relationship with people in the wild, as it were.
You've bred them successfully in captivity. Are they nervy breeders? Is it easy to do? Is it something like falling off a log?
No, I'm afraid the slightest little thing will disturb them, and we have to leave them entirely alone when they're breeding.
I am banned from mowing the grass around the aviaries, which is wonderful, actually.
Heard some excuses in my time. I can't mow the lawn, the
true.
squirrels are breeding.
Yeah, well,
that's a
it.
good
That's it.
one.
Yes, very good, isn't it?
That's a
It's
good
true, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, it's true.
So if you had to say, why do you love the red squirrel, what would you say, Anne?
They're just fascinating, gentle creatures. They're wonderful.
What do you feel?
I would agree with that. They really are very fascinating. And I feel that if we don't do anything, there's going to be no chance of people enjoying red squirrels in a natural habitat in, shall we say, 30, 40 years' time. If we do something, there's a chance. So I feel very strongly that we need to give it a good shot to see what we can do. Then at least it can be said, well, we had a go.
tried.
We tried.
We tried.
We had a go at it.
This begs one last question, and we're doing this business the whole time on Animal Country. People take care of an animal, and then of course it gets imprinted, and then they try and put it back into the wild. How are your squirrels going to adapt when eventually you and this scheme put them back in Thetford Forest? Are they going to be happy or say, well, I wish I was back home with Mum?
No, the breeding stock are here for good. And we choose them as the friendliest ones that there are, that we have. And the ones that we release are the teenagers who can adapt nice and easily and quickly back into the wild. And they do.
Thank you for having us in your home. It's been fascinating.
Pleasure.
I'm really pleased that you're doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Colette Marshall, you're in charge of this huge animal sanctuary here called the Kit Wilson Trust for Animal Welfare. How did it all begin?
Well, Kit Wilson was a well-known judge of cats, and she died in 1973, and she left a small sum of money to be used for animal welfare purposes. And at the time, it was decided to form the trust in her name. And that's how it started.
Let's sit down over here and talk about the animals that you've got here. Quite a lot. How many animals altogether?
I would say there's in excess of 200.
How many staff have you got?
We have one full-time kennel assistant and 3 part-time and 1 temporary girl at the moment.
So it must keep you busy.
Extremely.
How many hours a day do you put in? 24?
We never count.
Now, you specialise in cats and dogs, but this collection of animals behind us, that's part of your problem too, is it? How do they
Yes.
come to be here?
Well, the goats have come into us for various reasons. Every one has got a story attached to it. There's a group of white ones in the background there that came in as starving females from some goats that had been left on some waste ground. And of course, we didn't know at the time that they had been running with billy goats, and so everyone was pregnant.
So you've got more
Hence a
than you
large
expected.
number, yes. We had quite a few new arrivals that period of time.
My favourite one here is that, where is he going? Oh, there he is, over there, that big one with the big black face. I think you call him Bertie. He's a very strange-looking goat, a marvellous character.
Very handsome-looking goat.
Very handsome goat, yes, he's splendid. And what about the horses?
And the horses, Annabelle, she came into us, that's the large horse. She came to us via a will. Someone preferred that she stayed with us permanently. And the others have been rescued from various sources. 3 ponies came in together from the home of a gentleman who was very ill and he couldn't look after them properly, so they
So it's not always thoughtlessness. Sometimes it's a personal family tragedy or problem.
Yes.
You're pretty tough on people who want animals, are you?
They get the 3rd degree before they have an animal. Mainly it's to check the area they live in.
Yeah.
For instance, if somebody wants a cat, we wouldn't place a cat on a very busy road.
No. Which particular kinds of dogs at the moment do you have some special favourites here at the moment? Ones you'd love to see rehoused?
No, we don't have favourites, but I do have some that I have kept myself.
You at your own home? So you take your work home with you, do you?
Yes, well, it's here all the time with me.
You live here on the premises?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I see. But these are ones you keep in your own apartment here?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'd have a lot more than the 10 I've got, but it's accommodation problems, naturally. But amongst them, recently I've adopted a greyhound called Fly, and he was a dog that we went out to rescue. We joined forces with another animal welfare group of people, and they'd made attempts to catch him and couldn't. And then
He was living wild?
He'd been living wild for 5 years. He was feeding from one lady's back garden.
Yeah.
She used to put food out for the foxes and the hedgehogs and the cats, and he used to go in there, and she added more food knowing he was coming round. And that's how we caught him, really, in her garden. And I couldn't part with him when he came here.
So he's become, despite the fact that they're all your favourites, he's become a special favourite.
He's special amongst all the specials, put it that way.
We want to talk about the cats because I can hear them in the background. A lot of kittens you've got here.
Oh, yes, it's just sort of the tail end of the kitten season, basically. We're getting left with what we call our teenagers that are growing out of the sort of 3, 4 and 5 months age group where they're more popular for people to adopt.
Yeah.
And yes, we give priority to mother cats and kittens coming into us, because as you can see, we're quite limited in our accommodation. If we had more funds, we'd build more pens and catteries and so on. But it is subject to funds in housing animals.
So I suppose what keeps you going is the fact that you do manage to rehouse and find homes for so many of them. What's your success ratio?
Very high. We do have animals that stay here that can't find homes for one reason or another. We don't put animals down unless it's on the grounds of health or severe temperament problems, as in the case of dogs. That's a very rare occurrence here. But having said that, we're not actually a sanctuary, we are a homing centre.
Yes.
But as you can see from the goats and the horses and all the other dogs that are staying here, we're gradually creeping into the sort of sanctuary area.
Well, these animals are very lucky to have found you. Nicolette, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.